Hello, everybody. So it is mid-December. We are getting close to Christmas break. For a lot of people, that's getting close to the end of the semester. We are two shows in, almost. We did reschedule our show that got postponed. That'll perform next week. So, two shows in, and what have we learned about post-COVID theater? This year is as challenging, I think, theatrically as last year was. First is we knew it was going to be a rebuilding year coming back because we had a year of virtual, or if not completely virtual, and we did have some shows that were completely virtual, but small scale filming that projects that then went out, released to the public. So we knew our students would have lost a lot of the skills that they'd been building, and our freshmen didn't learn anything that they would normally have learned. Now, that's not to say we didn't learn a lot. We did learn a lot during 2020, doing theater in a COVID world, doing theater in lockdown, doing theater. Um, we we learned about film equipment. We learned about communicating in different ways. We learned a lot about getting your intent out with a mask over your face. Um, how do you portray emotion when all people can see are your eyes? Uh, how to tell intimate stories when you can't get close to people. So we learned a lot during COVID, but they're not the skills that we were used to having, and they're not the skills that we were used to teaching. So we came back and we knew it was going to be a rebuilding year. I don't think we anticipated how much of a rebuilding year it was going to be. And I don't think we planned well for that internally. We planned our shows very well. I think we picked shows that were lighter and with the intent that the message was going to bring people together. But I think from a straight up production standpoint, we there were a lot of things we didn't think about that we are now running into. So what are those things? We still have a large number of community members who aren't ready to be in person. We have staff and faculty that aren't ready to be in person. We have families that aren't ready for their kids to be in large groups. Uh, Now, granted, that is getting smaller and smaller, but people still are not coming out to do things like they were. At least they're not coming out to see our productions the way they were previously. So that's something that we have to address. We are still dealing with shutdowns, kind of the rolling quarantines. So our school got shut down. That completely shifted the calendar. Rehearsals couldn't happen, performances couldn't happen, so things get bumped down the road, and now we have to accommodate that. We don't want to crunch the end of the calendar, so we should probably have built in some soft dates for ourselves, kind of like snow days. Um, it's probably more important that we seriously consider understudies. I've talked about this with one of our directors and actually a couple of our directors, and that's not something that we ever seriously did. We never had dedicated understudies, uh, and that might be something that we need to really do for the next year and a half, 2 years, until COVID really does come under control uh, and we don't have to worry about people being pulled out at the last minute because that can seriously disrupt a show. Um, we are really more affected by supply chain issues in commodities than we expect it to be. When we started the season, lumber prices had taken a huge jump. Our our construction budget, our build budget, we got cost us twice as much to get the same amount that we had the previous year. So that was a sticker shock was a real thing, and that has affected everything. It's affected our lighting equipment. It's affected our sound equipment. It's affected repairs on our mics. Um, so things that we normally I think we've all kind of gotten used to Amazon showing up at the door with whatever we needed. And that's just not happening right now. There's a lag in the things that we need. So advanced planning, using what we have to greater effect, and really scaling back on design, unfortunately, is a real thing moving forward until we really recover. And getting people used to being together again, getting audience members used to being audience members again. That is very interesting to watch. They're not to say people are very excited. The people that are coming to see things, they are very excited and they're happy to be out. But we've kind of lost that sense of everybody getting together and kind of knowing how to be in a group for a live performance. So, theater in a post-COVID world. I think it's incredibly important. We're going to have whole new stories to tell. We've already got new plays about the pandemic and about people's experiences, because theater is transformative and theater is therapeutic, and the most human thing in the world is to tell a story and want to tell it to other people. So there will be shows that reflect the past couple of years, and that's going to be interesting to produce. We're also hanging on to some things that we started last year, a revival of radio shows in the form of podcasts. My students want to make their own podcasts. We've gotten the go ahead to do that, so that'll be fun. Um, it'll be different, and I think we now have to plan differently for success in this new environment. So that is my moment for today. I think I talked longer than I intended to. Thanks, and have a great night.